Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to wonder how you can securely control a computer that's halfway across the world right from your own keyboard? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're unlocking the magic behind a technology that is the absolute bedrock of the modern internet, SSH, the secure shell. It's the invisible encrypted backbone that lets us command machines thousands of miles away as if we were sitting right in front of them. So let's start with the big problem it was built to solve.
So let's just picture this for a second. You've got a server, right? Maybe it's sitting in a data center in another country, and you need to get in there. You need to run some really important commands, manage files, keep it updated. But here's the catch. You have to do all of this over the public internet, which, let's be honest, is kind of like shouting your secrets in a crowded room. So how do you possibly send your most sensitive commands and, your password without someone listening in? That right there is the exact challenge SSH was designed to conquer.
To really appreciate SSH, you've got to look at what came before it. And, well, it's pretty scary. In the early days, we had tools like Telnet and FTP. And sure, they worked, but they had this one tiny, massive, fatal flaw. They sent everything in plain text. I mean, everything, your username, your password, just flying across the network for anyone to read. Anyone with a simple network sniffing tool could just pluck your login details right out of thin air. It's wild to even think about now. And then along comes SSH, which was built from the ground up to fix this mess. It wraps your entire conversation in this super strong layer of encryption, making it all complete gibberish to any outsiders.
So how in the world does it actually do this? This is where the magic really begins. The very first, most critical step is building what I like to call a secret tunnel. Before you even get a chance to type a password, before anything else happens, SSH has to carve out a secure encrypted channel right through the middle of that insecure public network. This little bit of cryptographic wizardry is what makes everything else possible.
The foundation of this secure tunnel is something called symmetric encryption. Now, the name might sound a little technical, but the idea is actually super simple. Just think of it like this. You and the server both have an identical physical key for the same lock. You use your key to lock a message in a box, you send it over, and the server uses its identical key to unlock it. This shared secret key is incredibly fast and efficient, which is why it's used to encrypt the entire back-and-forth conversation for your whole session. But wait a minute. This should make you ask a really, really important question.
Yeah, exactly. If the whole reason we're doing this is because the network is insecure, how can you and the server possibly agree on that secret key in the first place? I mean, you can't just send the key over because an eavesdropper would just grab it. It's the ultimate chicken and egg problem of cryptography. And the solution? Well, it's one of the most clever and frankly beautiful algorithms in all of computer science.
The solution is called the Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange. And the paint analogy here is just the perfect way to get your head around it, so stick with me. Imagine you and the server want to create a secret shared color, but you can only communicate in a public hallway where anyone can see what you're passing. First, you both publicly agree on a common paint color. Let's say bright yellow. Everybody sees the yellow, no big deal. Next, you each secretly choose your own private color. You pick blue, keep it to yourself. The server picks red and keep it secret. Now for the public part. You mix your secret blue with the public yellow to get green. The server mixes its secret red with the yellow to get orange. You then swap these mixed colors out in the open. You hand over your green, you get back the orange. And here is the magic. You take the orange you just received and mix it with your own original secret blue. The server takes the green it got from you and mixes it with its original secret red. And boom, you both magically end up with the exact same final brownish color. You've created a shared secret without ever revealing your private colors. In SSH, these colors are actually just really, really big numbers, but the principle is identical. The final shared key is never ever sent across the network. It's just so cool.
And just like that, with that clever exchange complete, the secure tunnel is built. Your computer and the server are now both holding the exact same symmetric encryption key. From this moment forward, every single piece of data, every keystroke, every command, and most importantly, the entire authentication process that's about to happen is protected inside this encrypted channel. The eavesdroppers are officially locked out.
Okay, so our communication is now totally private. Awesome. But security is a two-way street, right? The server has created this secret tunnel with you, but it still has no idea who you are. For all it knows, you can be anybody. So this next stage is all about authentication. You have to prove your identity to the server before it'll let you in.
Now, when it comes to proving who you are, you've basically got two main contenders. On the left, you've got the classic password. And it's really important to remember, thanks to our new tunnel, this password is now encrypted, so it's safe from sniffing. But at the end of the day, it's still just a password. It can be weak, it can be guessed, and it's vulnerable to automated brute force attacks. On the right, though, we have the undisputed champion, public key login. This uses a different, more powerful type of cryptography, and it is vastly more secure. It's the same kind of tech that puts the little padlock in your web browser. This is the gold standard, and it is absolutely the recommended method.
So how does this much stronger method actually work? It's like a really clever lock-in key challenge. First, on your own machine, you generate a key pair. A public key, which is like an open padlock you can give to anyone, and a private key, which is the only key in the world that can open that specific lock. You copy your public key, the padlock, onto the server. It gets stored in a special file. Now when you try to connect, the server sees your padlock. It generates a random, secret message, puts it in a box, and uses your public padlock to lock it up. It then sends this locked box back to you as a challenge. Here's the critical part. The only thing in the universe that can unlock this box is your private key, which has never left your computer. Your client uses your private key to open the box, read the secret message, and sends back a correct response to the server. And when the server sees that correct response, it has mathematical proof that you hold the private key. You're authenticated, and you never send a password or your secret key across the network. It's incredibly elegant.
Okay, so we've seen the two major stages, building that secure tunnel and then proving who you are. To kind of wrap our heads around all of this, it helps to take a quick peek under the hood. The official SSH protocol is really neatly organized into a three-layer architecture, and understanding it helps clarify how all these pieces fit together so perfectly.
At the very bottom, you have the transport layer. Think of this as the foundation of the whole thing. Its job is to handle that initial Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange, set up the encryption, and make sure all the data is secure and hasn't been tampered with. Sitting right on top of that secure foundation is the Authentication layer. Its one and only job is to handle you proving who you are, whether that's with a password or that public key challenge. And finally, once you're successfully authenticated, the connection layer takes over. This is the layer that lets you actually do stuff. It creates all the channels for your interactive shell, for running commands, or even for advanced tricks like port forwarding, all multiplexed over that one secure connection.
Now, understanding the theory is fantastic, but the real goal here is to apply it. The good news is SSH is incredibly secure right out of the box. But with just a few simple configuration changes, you can transform your server from just a secure house into an impenetrable digital fortress. So let's go over a few of the absolute best practices.
All right, let's walk through 4 of the most powerful changes you can make. First, disable root login. The root user is the all-powerful super administrator, which makes it the #1 target for attackers. By setting Permit Root Login No, you force everyone to log in as a normal user first. Second, and this is the big one, disable password authentication entirely. Setting password authentication No forces every single user to use the much stronger public key method. All those automated brute force attacks, they just become completely useless. Third, use a tool like Fail2Ban. Think of it as an automated guard dog for your server. It watches for failed login attempts and automatically blocks the attacker's IP address. It's a lifesaver. And finally, and this is so important, keep your system patched. A protocol is only as secure as its implementation. Regular updates make sure you're protected from any newly discovered vulnerabilities.
You know, we rely on SSH every single day. It's this incredible, almost invisible technology that manages the infrastructure of our entire modern internet. It combines these amazing layers of cryptography to literally create a secure channel out of thin air. But as we've seen, its ultimate strength really depends on how well you guard the gates. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. When you look at your own server, your own digital fortress, are its gates properly secured?